Welcome to day 5's video of April Vid-A-Day to celebrate my birthday month. And I've got this quite simple, just basic art journal page. So I'm going to cut down this tissue paper that is a Dina Wakley collage paper, and I am going to use my water pencils that I got in a Kitaholic kits, and just going to add some colour, some die cuts, and this collage piece, and some journaling, or a quote actually. And that's going to be the page. It's so simple. It's just so fun to play with these watercolours and just have the colour go on the page and work out. So you can see here I'm just using the watercolour pencil in my left hand and a water paintbrush in my right hand. I'm just dripping the water over the lead of the pencil so that it brings the colour down to the page. And then I'm just having a play with making it move around and spreading it so that it doesn't look blocky, but also doesn't look like I've just put colour all over the page. I sort of had this thought of having the girl the face, the girl, in the right hand side on the bottom of the page there, and then the colour going up from her head up into the sky, and have the quote so that she's like thinking the quote, and that's what's emerging from her brain as such, if you want to label it that way. But I'm just working with some colours. So I've got the two colours here, the teal and the blue. Then I'm going to add some black, just because I figure there's the black in the stencil of the face, the collage face, and it's just nice to bring the colour over the page. Here's where I remembered that if you're working with watercolour pencils or watercolour in general, or just liquid colour like this, you need your paper towel handy. So I ripped some off my roll and had it down so that I could mop up some of the colour. Just really, you should wait for your colours to dry or use your heat gun in between, so that you can see here my blue is wet and then I put in black next to it. But I do mop up some of the colour and have a play that way. But really, I'm just living life on the edge, apparently, when I art journal. I just have no patience for letting things fully dry. So here, just adding in this colour. I'm really liking how it evolves and how it moves through. You can see there, if you're quick enough, you can get up most of the colour. But it's nice because it blends through as well, so that the colour's not just, here's the black, and over here, here's the blue. But it's actually like, here's the black and the blue, and they're next to each other with a bit of a blend here on this edge or that edge, or whatever's going on for whatever piece of the colouring it is. Just going back in with some more of the blue. I did push out some more of the water on some paper towel, that water brush, so that it would pull out the blue rather than being a murky, pull out the black, sorry. So that it wasn't a murky blue when I switched colours. But you can see here, I'm just having fun with the process of getting the colour on the page, and I was like, oh, better stop here and put my thinking hat on and work out if that's the way I want it all to look, or whether it needs more before I go too overboard. So now we're going to add the girl. So using some gel medium, just putting the gel medium on the back of the girl, and then once I stick it down, I'll put it on top. The back of it means, once you put it on the back, it acts like a glue, and then if you put it over top, it acts like a protectant, so the mixed media can go over top without ruining the integrity of that little piece of tissue paper. It also means that it blends into the art journal. So this is a Jane Davenport art journal, and it just is brilliant. Not only is it a really nice white colour cardstock, it's really good. You can see how well it worked with those watercolour pencils. Didn't soak in the colour, but it didn't keep it all on top, so that it soaked in the colour the right amount without losing the brightness of the colour or losing that effect to be able to blend and mop up the colour, if that makes sense. I've had other journals where the colour just rolls straight off and doesn't ever become, part of the page, and other times it just soaks in so much that you can't move the colour around and it just doesn't look the way you want it to look. And I know there's gesso for a reason, but gesso's another step that I don't often like to do. Anyway, I was just going through the die cuts of the January Kitaholic kits, and we've got these beautiful ones from Cocoa Vanilla that actually it might not, yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah, it was January kit. We have these exclusive die cuts that say the days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think I used Saturday and Sunday. And then I had those beautiful days, which are Cocoa Vanilla, but I decided I didn't want them. They were too big and bold. Now I've trying to bring in some pink, and it doesn't overly work for me, and I kind of mop up most of it. But I figured it needed some pink just because the pink die cuts. I think I was thinking it needed some orange as well, but when the pink didn't work as well as I'd liked, I sort of backed out and didn't put the orange on at all. So you can see how easy it is to just work with the colour, putting that water on top of your pencil lead there, and it just seeps out with the colour. It's just so fun to add a bit more water and make it more fluid. And here I go. So I'm just going to blend in this little area above the girl's head, just because it's sort of the watercolours just abruptly stop. But also I wanted to bold up some of the black, so I'm adding some more black over here. Well, not more, because I'm just adding it over top of where I had it before, but just brightening up the colour, I guess, or darkening the colour. It's probably a better term for it. So look at the colour just move. It's so fun. Mop it up a little. You can always just mop up some, all of it, or none of it, and then it gets a different reaction, obviously, in terms of how the colour stays on the page. So next step is obviously to add some more to the background. It's nice to stamp on a background, and I figured a good stamp that would go with the theme of the days of the week is a date stamp. So I've got this huge date stamp, which is just from an old office job. It's huge, it's old, I don't think it even has a 2000 kind of date, or maybe it goes up to like the early 2000s, but just putting that on the page in with some random January dates, just because, no, random dates of the year. I've just switched it around with the numbers and the months. I haven't really given it too much thought, like this is a great date, or that's, an important date, or anything like that. I've just put some random ones on with that huge office supply stamp, but also then a small, just normal phrase stamp that's got the date, or date stamp, I should say, from my stash that I've just added in a few places. So I'm going to use my gel medium on the bottom, and then on the top of these little die cut pieces that have got the days of the week, and I put them on straight, and then realised I'm not really going to have the right amount of space, and it just wasn't looking the way I wanted. So here I go a bit more of an angle with them all, and I picked these three first ones that I put down and put them back on an angle. So you can see here there's nothing too crazy and wild about this. You could use any type of colour to get on the page, some water spray mist, some watercolours, some watercolour pencils, gelatos, anything really, and it doesn't have too much technical process going on at all. So we're using a white crayon just to add some white dots over the colour, just to add some interest. And I've got out my, what's that? That's a pen. Just trying to work out what pen it is. It's a brush. It's a Pit brush pen, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe it's a Stabilo brush pen. So I'm just writing out a quote. It took me a little while to decide on a quote, surprisingly, because I figured there'd be so many quotes about days, in life and whatnot, but it took me a little while, but we got there in the end. It's a brand new week, and I wondered if I was going to keep it just like that, but I figured the rest of the quote would be nice. Or is it a second quote? No, it's the rest of the quote would be nice down the bottom here. And I'm just thinking, I actually think I don't write who wrote the quote, so I'll need to go back to my Pinterest board and give that credit to that person indeed. So just pulled out my normal Sharpie, and I'm just adding some squiggly lines to this girl, I just wanted to, you know, finish off the top of her head and give her a bit more definition because she is a main focal point along the page. I didn't want her to be incomplete. Then I come back in with my brush pen just to make the lines a bit bolder. That goes along with the lines that she's already got going on, and you can see here now her hair looks really cool, and I wish I could do hair like that more often, but the only reason I could do it today is because most of her hair was done. So I'm just going to add a doodly border, 2-lined border, top and bottom, just to define the page so that it's not running off the bottom of the top of the page. It didn't need it on the side. There's lots going on. And that's going to be that for now. And while I was thinking about, do I need any more colour, I decided the girl's hair needed some colour. I have a little play here with some red. But I mop it straight up, and then I go straight into adding red to the girl's hair. You can see here that some of the colour has been picked up in the water brush. And here, look how bright red and orange it is. These are just lovely watercolour pencils. They're just so nice to play with. So adding to both sides of her hair, because otherwise that would look crazy. And this is the last touch. So hopefully this has inspired you to get out and get messy, and let me know if there's anything you'd like me to know or ask. Let me know in the comments below. I'll catch you tomorrow's video. Bye.